saw you said 520. Tomei's target on ADN is 520 today. I thought so too earlier today. Now we got a massive breakout happening with ADN. Now look, we launched ADN last week Tuesday at $1.90. We hit 620 on Friday, so it was a triple. It was a triple in just a few days. And again, the goal is for stocks to be 10 baggers. We're looking for this to be in the pantheon of 10 baggers. Okay, it's going to be the next edition of our book where we're going to have case studies of all our winners, all our stocks that increased 10x or more. Guys, if you're watching on YouTube or TikTok, please click the like, share button so we get more eyes on the stock on this video. And obviously, yes, we will have another next week. We may have a banger next week. Get ready, the banger. We got one. We got a few in the pipeline. I think we may have a banger next week. We may have another one next week. That's right. We'll let you know probably by Wednesday, Thursday this week. But it looks like next week we may have one. Okay. So let's get into the chart. So what's going on with ADN today? We're going to show you the charts in just a second, and I'll tell you what I'm looking at. Let me tell you the big picture. Here is the big picture. Get ready. ADN, in my opinion, again, this is my opinion only. This is not guaranteed. I believe this thing could be a $25 stock. $25. That's $25, potentially even more. By the way, even at $25, it's only like a 50 million market cap. That's nothing. Again, these guys are, this could be totally transformational for the energy market. These fuel cells, hydrogen fuel cells, this could be fueling the next generation. Well, it's already fueling the next generation of aviation. So planes, they got to deal with Airbus. They're developing for the next generation of Airbus planes. They're going to be using this hydrogen fuel cell to power the plane instead of using jet fuel or whatever. And by the way, just like your cars are moving to EVs, to batteries and all that, same thing is happening with planes. You got these Jobies or whatever. There's a couple of these stocks that are doing battery-powered planes. It's real. It's not science fiction. But here's the deal. Hydrogen fuel cells is really the way to go. And they just have a deal also with Australis. They just announced today, news today on ADN. They are, okay, we got Rune in the house. We got C+. Okay, welcome everybody on YouTube. So big news today with ADN. They're working with Australis, which is an Australian company, developing planes using these hydrogen fuel cells. And here's what they found so far. This is a quote directly from Australis, not from ADN, from Australis. They're saying, hey, with this hydrogen fuel cell from ADN, we can go 10 times further, okay, 10 times further, and for than batteries, which, okay, it's pretty good, but also cheaper than fossil fuels, okay? Everything is aligned. Now, okay, let me be very clear, okay? The stuff with aviation, going into production, that's really a couple of years out. But these stocks move ahead of that because there's contracts and all that. But here's what I think the low-hanging fruit in the next few years could be robots. They got these robots, these humanoid robots now. You see from Tesla, everybody else doing it, humanoid. I'll tell you what if they could use fuel cells? Well, you got all drones. You got so many of these applications that could use these hydrogen fuel cells. It's incredible. Watch the video we have on YouTube, guys. Click the what do you call it? Click the button on top to get the video with the CEO to see what he has to say. He'll tell you what's going on. Now, here is the big deal. I'm going to show you what's really, really important. So hang on one second. We're going to flip the camera, and what I'm looking at is, this is the chart I'm looking at. 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart. Let me make sure we got it up on YouTube. Okay, it's up on YouTube. So here's the deal. 4-hour chart. You see this? We got the golden cross about to happen. We got a golden cross about to happen on the 4-hour charts, which is an algo trigger. Now, when that happens, it'll probably be, I think, in about 2 days, roughly 2 days, based on where we are. In about 2 days, when we get that golden cross, that's going to be another algo trigger, which could send this thing way beyond. Again, we already hit $6. Okay, we already hit $6. Now look, hang on a second, let me see. Look what happened. Look what happened last time we broke out above those. Well, this is actually a bit different. It's a little different, but we can have a massive move. Now let me show you something else. On the charts, this is really my target, which is, 15, 12, roughly 50. Actually, I think $15 is the number. I'm wrong, guys. I'm sorry. I apologize. I was wrong about that 12.50. The real number is $15. That's the target. That's the target for ADN short term. Now, how fast can that happen? It could happen in a couple days. This thing is a very tight stock, very tight stock. It doesn't take a lot to move ADN. It does not take a lot to move ADN. Okay, you've already seen this. It only has 2 million shares outstanding. 2 million shares. Yeah, bull market invest. ADN is on fire. And here is the crazy thing. Right now, people have a chance to get in. Again, you can get in right now before it takes off again, because every time it explodes, it pulls back a little bit. It explodes, pulls back. Again, if you read my book, 10-Bagger Blueprint, these things don't go in a straight line. It's a roller coaster. What you want to do is you want to get in on the dips as it goes up that ladder. Okay, again, the target on this is short-term $15. Could be $25 to $50. Could be $25 to $50. Could be $25 to $50. Yeah, cheaper maintenance with hydrogen fuel cell, less loud. I mean, it's a game changer. I was on a plane last 2 weeks ago, and I sat in the back, right where the engine is, and wow. I mean, it's big difference when you're near the engine or where you're away from the engine by 5 seats. Huge difference. I mean, I had a headache. I mean, it was crazy. Hydrogen fuel cells could be the future of it. Look, Airbus. This is not me saying it. It's Airbus. This is how big is Airbus? It's a massive company. They're like the Boeing. They're the Boeing of Europe. And Europe wants to go green. They want to go green energy, and this is basically as close as you get to green energy. Now let's zoom in on the 5-minute chart. What is going on with ADN today? So I'm going to give you kind of the take on what's happening. So we had a real massive breakout this morning. Okay, if you were in our Telegram channel, if you guys were in our private Telegram channel, we told you this was going to happen. We told you it was happening right at. Hang on a second. Let me see. Where is my private Telegram channel? Here we go. This is the private Telegram channel where we have all the good stuff. This is where all the good stuff is happening. Where is it? Is this today? No, that's Friday. Where's today's? Today's. Okay, today. Here we go. This is today. Okay, breakout. This is okay. So you would have known to get in at what's the price there? Whatever. Hang on. Whatever the price is. I think it was full. It was right over here, which is what, 419, and then we had a nice run to $5. So that's what you get with our part of what you get with our early alerts. Part of what you get with our early alerts is, hang on a second, you get. Okay, so a lot of you guys are asking, okay, when is the next banger? When is the next banger? Well, I think it's going to be next week. Now, here's the deal. If you guys want to get in early, the ground floor in the first 30 seconds when we announce that stock, you've all been asking. So by popular demand, we have it's buffering. Are we getting buffering? Is it slowing down? Okay, we may have a bad internet connection here. But here's the deal. If you guys want to get in early when we launch the next banger, which could be next week, again, we get a couple of the pipeline, could be next week. With our early alerts, you get notifications that will tell you exactly what time and where that new stock is going to launch. What that does for you, very simply, it lets you get in at the ground floor literally in the first couple of seconds. Literally, that's what it does. You're prepared, and you can get in right literally in that first 5-10 seconds of when we announce it. So What it means is instead of you having to wait, which platform, where they're going to announce it, what time, and then you odds are you're going to miss it unless you have the early alerts, because when you have that, you're going to know exactly what time and where. We're going to let you know right there on the Telegram, and right after we post it on the social media, it's going to be right there within like 2 seconds. So you can basically have your trading thing ready to go, and boom, you can get in. And you guys know that all our stocks are bangers out of the gate. Okay, they usually double on day one, and if you get in early, you can clip an extra 50%. That's the goal. You can probably clip an extra 50% of that move. So, for example, if you're putting 10 grand into a position, you can make an extra 5 grand by being in early. Okay, by being in early, you're going to make an extra 5 grand. Is it worth investing $200 a month for that? Yeah, because if we have 1 or 2 bangers a month like that, and you're trading 10 grand a position, you're basically let's do the math. You're making 10 grand extra from the $200 plus the other stuff. So really, you're making potentially 20 grand from a $200 investment, which is crazy. Plus, you also get the trading alerts throughout the day. That's what you're getting. Okay, C Plus is asking, how long before Airbus adopts it? Will new plane be okay? So from what I understand, from what we saw from the live stream last week, they're again, these airplanes, these things are like decade projects. It's like these things are decade projects, but they're going to be using ADN's fuel cells in their next generation planes, which are launching in the next couple of years. It's probably going to be like 4 or 5 years realistically. Australis is going now, like they're going to have a plane in a few months using ADN's technology. The commercialization of the planes is going to be, realistically, it's going to be a few years. It's going to be a few years, but here's the thing. By the time that happens, and the market, when everything is moving already, the stock is not going to be trading right now. We're trading at a 10 million valuation. By the time the thing is already moving, this thing could be a 50, 100. Right now, ADN should be a 50 to 100 million valuation. Today, we should be 50 to 100 million dollar valuation. Okay, and we're trading at a 10 million valuation. So we have at least a 5x upside. That's the concept I explained in my book, 10 Bagger Blueprint. We got to get in where we have that asymmetric setup, and that's exactly what we have whenever we launch that new banger stock. You got that asymmetric setup, you got that insider edge. What it means is you have a minimal risk. For example, if you would have gotten into ADN last Tuesday when we launched, stock was trading at $1.95 or so. The downside was relatively minimal because we saw that there was support on the charts around $1.80. So you had 10 cents of downside. Your real downside was around 10 cents. You could have put a stop in around 10 cents. The upside is, well, you see it already went to $6. So you have $4 of upside and you have 10 cents of downside. You have 40 to 1. That's a 40. So far, that was a 40 to 1. But really, I'm looking at this as a potentially a $25 stock. So really, you have $23 of upside and 10 cents of downside. Do you understand that? That's what I call an asymmetric setup. That's exactly what we have here. Okay, so we got Universe saying, I've been waiting for ADN to pop off all morning above the 6. I don't think ADN is going to go above $6 today. I don't think it's going to $6 today. Look, whenever you have a massive move like you had on Friday, it's got to digest. It's got to pull back and digest before it can make the next move up. Okay, so let's take a look at the charts again. Where are we on the charts? We're moving up right now. We got 38 minutes to go. 38 minutes to go. Showcase parts. Great question. Will you make millions? Okay, better question. How do you get into the private Telegram? Okay, you click the link in the bio. If you're watching on TikTok, there's a link in bio above on a link tree. You see a link. It says early alerts, and we use WAP, W-H-O-P, WAP. That's the thing. You sign up on WAP. And if you're watching on YouTube, it's the link in the video description. Again, it's the link for WAP. And that's where we have the private Telegram channel, all our stuff. And also, we're going to be doing the video course version of 10-bagger blueprint. Okay, so I showed you the charts. We got a beautiful setup. What the big catalyst, guys, here is the takeaway. The big thing, what you're going to get from this video, the main goal from this video is for you to be aware of this approaching golden cross on the 4-hour chart. Okay, and I'm going to show you here. I'm going to go to TikTok so that they can see, but you guys can see right here on the YouTube. Hang on a second. Let me see. When I draw on whenever I draw on what do you call it, on the screen, they can't see it except here. So let's flip it over. Okay, 4-hour chart. Once you have the golden cross, it's going to explode, because that's every time that we get a golden cross on the stock, it's an algo trigger. It sets off a frenzy. We already have the official breakout. We got escape velocity here. Okay, now if you look at the daily charts, that is the confirmation. Again, we got escape velocity above the 200 moving average. That's a big deal. We haven't had that in, look how long. It's been a very, very long time. The last time we had it was here when it went to $9. It went to $9 back in November. But now we got much, much more powerful fundamentals. So this thing is ready to absolutely explode. Let's take a look at what happened when we had the other golden cross. Here's what happened, okay? When we had that golden cross, I told you it was going to happen. If you guys remember, I told you we had multiple golden cross setups, and boom, we exploded just like that. Explode. This is textbook. This is a textbook golden cross. And guess what? We're going to have another move like that on the 4-hour chart. Okay, now, when I say we're going to, I just always want to be clear. Anytime I say we're going to, it's happening for sure. Nothing is guaranteed, okay? Nothing is guaranteed. It's likely to happen, possibilities, everything, but these are high-risk stocks. They could all go to zero. They go to 100 to the moon, but they can go, it's very high risk. Okay, Hassan, he bought 2 of your, he bought Ciara. Yeah. Oh, he's Hassan. Here's the thing. You got to get in early. The key to look, here is the key, guys. If you get one thing, it's this. All our stocks, generally speaking, anybody who's been following our thing for years, and we have some people who've been following us for many years on YouTube before we got onto TikTok, they will all tell you this. The key to making money with our stocks is, and this is what I explained in the book, you got to get in. The best time to get in is right when we launch, because that's when your risk is the minimal risk and the upside is unlimited, okay? So that's the time to get in. Or you can get in later. It's actually smarter to get in once it already breaks out, because a lot of the big money comes in after it breaks out, because then there's momentum. So there's two. I personally, I like low risk. I like to get in early at the ground floor. Other people are momentum chasers, and they want to get in when it's already moving. So here's what I'm expecting with ADN in the next couple of days. What I was telling our private Telegram group is this earlier today. I'm looking for a move here to go basically to roughly $5. I'll flip around the camera here again. Basically, I'm looking for the stock to go. I was hoping for it to go right around here to $5 roughly today or by tomorrow, right in this area. Maybe it'll happen the day after, whatever. It doesn't matter, but the stock needs to kind of hang out over here. It needs to kind of hang out for a couple of days in this range, in $5-6 range, $5.50, $6. And then that's going to form a cup and handle formation. From that cup and handle, that's where I believe we're going to have that big breakout. So I think the setup is this. Okay, guys, the setup is this. What happens is the stock goes to roughly, again, this is my prediction. My prediction is with ADN, the stock goes to $5.50, $6 in the next few days. It kind of hangs in there for a few days, bouncing around $5 to $6, building like a base. And then from there, it explodes. And that's when you have that golden cross in the 4-hour chart. It all times in together. And guess what? It gets better. It gets better. You know why it gets better? Because we also have a golden cross setup happening on the daily charts, which is a major deal. It's a big, big deal. But that's not going to be for a little while. That could be 2 weeks out. It could be at least 10 days out. It's not going to be for a while. Okay, maybe it'll be sooner, but I think it's going to be about 2 weeks out. But you have, for the next couple of weeks, you have a couple of major setups. That's why I think ADN, you got to have the stock on your watch list. Guys, put the stock on your watch list. This could be one of our biggest winners so far of the last couple of months. Again, we had Seattle that went up 700%. I think ADN could exceed that. I think ADN could hit $25. Again, Seattle went up 700% in 8 days. Now, ADN, I think, is going to go to $25 in maybe by the end of September. What do you think of that? What do you think of that? My prediction. Not advice, not a guarantee. Everything here is paid content. Tomei, 15-minute chart. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. This guy knows what he's talking about. Yeah, the 15-minute chart is, I think we're going to see. Okay, by the way, we got to. It's working on a breakout. Tomei, thank you for pointing it out. See, this is why we got. This is why you got to be in our early alerts. Okay, so yeah, I think what's happening is maybe the setup is this. That's the 15-minute chart. 15-minute chart. It's going to bounce off the support. That's the 50 moving average right here. It's going to bounce off the support back over here, which is roughly 5 and change right in here, and over the next day or so. And from there, that's your cup and handle for the breakout. That's another, I think that's what it is. Somebody's asking, do you only invest? Yeah, long term. I mean, look, realistically, look, this is not a day trading channel. Yes, we do have trading signals throughout the day on our stocks, kind of telling you the breakouts, what's going on. And people do day trade. We have some guys who trade in and out of these stocks a couple of times a day, especially when we launch them. I don't know why they do that, but they like doing it. I'm not here to tell people what to do. But I think the big money is made by holding. And here's the thing. Again, I talk about it in the book. You got to use money management technique. You got to, you don't put all your money into one stock. You got to have enough money where you can be in five of these stocks, at least 5 at one time, because we're always going to be launching new stocks. So we're going to be launching, anywhere from 1 new stock to 3 new stocks a month. 1 to 3 new stocks a month, sometimes more, but an average, a couple of stocks a month. So the point is, you want to have money ready to put in. Next week, we're going to be launching a new stock, probably, most likely. I mean, I'm talking to the CEO again today. And we'll see. Maybe next week is the launch. And if you want to get in early, if you guys want to get in those first few seconds when we launch, because that's when the money is made, click the link above to get into our private Telegram channel. It's on WHOP, W-H-O-P. And if you're watching on YouTube, the link is in the bio. Link in the bio. Okay, so we're at 4:25 and we got 28 minutes to go. Are we going to have a breakout on ADN? Very possible. I'm looking at the 5-minute chart. We're looking at the 5-minute chart. We get a bounce off showcase products. What has been my biggest stock? I'm embarrassed to tell you this. I am actually very embarrassed to tell you this. Here's the worst part. I got to tell you something, the worst part. The worst part is, well, here's the good news. We've had a few major wins, stocks that went up 100x. One of the big, and some I even forgot about because, these over the years, a lot of these things can go up literally 100x, not 10x, but literally 100x, where you put $1,000 and it becomes 100,000. Well, this stock, if you would have put $1,000 into the stock, today it's worth $1 million. Every $1,000 today is worth $1 million. Now that stock is Axon. And we did it. I actually was the guy that, I remember interviewing the CEO of Axon. This is like years back. Now, how smart was I? I did not buy the stock. I didn't buy the stock. And if I would have bought the stock, I probably would have sold it, because after then it went up 10x. Like literally, Axon, became a 10-bagger shortly thereafter. And by the way, we had a slightly different business model at the time. We weren't doing like really this type of stock. It was a different model. So we weren't really working long term with the companies. It was kind of a short term thing. Same thing with MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor, MSTR. That was one of our also. That became a 100-bagger right away, like in a year. I did not make money. I did not buy those stocks. I missed out on those stocks. And also, I'm embarrassed to tell you, I've been early in a couple of stocks that ended up becoming 100-baggers, and I sold sometimes when they went up like 5x or whatever, or I doubled my money. And Crocs. I remember buying Crocs. I don't even want to look at Crocs today. I don't even want to know where it is. But after the 2008 crash, the stock was trading at $1, and I was like trading that stock like, I was trading like 10,000 shares at a time, and I was like kind of flipping it. What I should have done was I should have held it, but I thought it was a scam. I thought the Crocs, who would wear those stupid shoes? I read an article in the Wall Street Journal today that it's becoming huge in China. It's huge in China. I think the stock, I don't want to know where it is, but it went up over 100x. But Crocs was not a client, just to be clear. So I've missed out on some big wins. But we've had people in our audience who've made some massive, we've had, again, CBDT a few years ago went up 50x. So if you would have put $1,000 into CBDT, within 4 months, your $1,000 would be worth $50,000. Okay, let's take a look again at the charts. What's going on? Is ADN moving? Okay, so yeah, we get a nice uptrend explosion. Here's what it is: explosion, breakout, consolidation. This is the shakeout. This is where all the weak hands get shaken out, and we start moving back up. This is very bullish, very, very bullish, by the way, that we're seeing this, that we're seeing today. Usually would have been down, but today we're seeing it, and now it wants to go higher. If we break out above, guys, the number to watch is 446. 446. If we break out of 446 5-minute charts, that means we got another major algo trigger. 446 is the number to watch. 446. Is it going to happen today? I don't know. Let's see. We're on 2-minute charts. What's going on? It could go either way in the next couple of minutes. It really could go either way. But let's look at the 15s. Okay, so we're hanging in this kind of support range on the 15-minute chart. Actually, hang on a second. If we break above a 430, let's call it 432 on the 15-minute chart, that is, okay, that's a major algo trigger. Okay, so on the 15-minute chart, hang on a second, I got to go to our Telegram program. So somebody's asking, Jenny's asking, what's early alerts? One of the benefits is you get trading signals throughout the day. For example, like right now, we're gonna let everybody know in our group about these two breakouts, 430 and 450. Okay, 430, 450. Okay, so we're going to tell them this. All right, penny stock billionaires, ADN breakout alerts, 430, 430, and 450. 430 on the 15-minute chart and 450 on the 5-minute chart. So once this thing breaks 430, it's going to start to run, and we could see the move towards $5 into the close. All right, so that's what you get. One of the things. So here's what you get. You get trading signals throughout the day. By the way, the trading signals pays for itself because, we got stuff going with all our stocks. So you get those breakout numbers. I mean, at the end of the day, you want to make money, right? Now, the real money is when we launch the new early alert. So Jenny's asking, I'm considering buying your monthly membership. How soon do you give the alerts to the new stock? I think what you're asking is I think what she's asking is, when is the new stock? I think that's what she's asking. And I don't know. It could be next week. Sometimes, sometimes we have 2, 3 a month. Sometimes we have 0. Like last month in July, we had no stocks. We didn't have any new launches. We had no new launches. We were supposed to have a few. Things got pushed off. We got 1 so far this month. We're probably going to have another one, but the goal is to have 2. That's the goal, to have 2, maybe 3. Sometimes it'll be 1, but that's kind of the idea. So look, this is basically paid content, right? So one of the advantages that you get with this thing is you have basically insider information. Look, what separates what we do here on this channel and all these trading coaches, gurus, all these stuff out there, there's a million of these guys, whatever, is this. They're all trading with public information, stuff that they have no edge. They don't have any edge. They might tell you, oh yeah, I can read a chart better, or I have this program, I have that, and follow me and you'll make millions. But they have no edge. They have the same public information everybody else has. What we have here is we have an insider advantage. Okay, and we're able to take a proactive role in increasing these stocks. Okay, because this is paid promotion. So the companies, these public companies that we work with, they hire my company, okay, which is Wall Street Report. That's the main company, to get them their stock increased in awareness with institutional investors, fund managers, hedge funds, retail investors over a 6-month period. Generally speaking, by the way, I explained that in my book. I have a whole chapter why stock promotion is important. Because if nobody knows about a stock, how can anybody buy the stock? Look, what's the difference between ADN last week when it was $1.80 or $1.90 and today or Friday when it hit $6? What's the difference? Did anything change fundamentally? Nothing changed. What changed is they went from having 0 investor attention to now having 100,000 plus eyeballs on the stock. So we're still in the early stages. The idea is to get a couple million eyeballs on the stock over the coming months through everything that we do. And the TikTok thing is a very small part of it. So yeah, we have a couple subscribers here. We have 75,000 followers on TikTok, which is nothing. We have a couple 100,000 people on our email list, and those are heavy hitters. People on our email list are big investors. So the idea is when we launch a stock, we have an insider advantage because we know that, yes, for sure, this thing is going to have major eyeballs on it, meaning there's going to be major demand going into the stock. That's your insider advantage. And it's guaranteed because we have a 6-month contract usually. So we know over the next couple of months, this thing should do well, sometimes, things kind of go sideways after a couple of months, like, with SEG or lottery, whatever. But generally, in that launch period, the first month, you've got that edge. That's very key thing. I don't know if people can appreciate that. It's a very important nuance. And by the way, it's 100% legal. That's right. You get a legal insider information. By the way, the other insider information you have is do you give membership alerts pre-market? What does that mean? I'm not sure if I understand what the question is. Pre-market. I don't like pre-market or after hours trading because the markets are too illiquid and it's just too crazy. I mean, we could talk about stuff, but I really don't recommend anybody trade these stocks after hours or pre-market. I just don't. It's just too ridiculous. There we go, Tomei. Yeah, if you guys think that these stocks just go one way, straight to the moon from like the first second, no. It's like you. If you're going to run, you're running a sprint. Yeah, sometimes you slow down a little bit. You got to catch your breath. Maybe even sit down, and then you complete the marathon. Okay, that's what this is. It's the same thing here. So where are we now? 5-minute charts. It looks like it wants to go higher. Get ready, 429. We might be breaking out. Get ready. Oh, boom. We got the breakout. We got the breakout on the 50-minute charts. Now, you might want to wait for the confirmation. Wait, did it break out? Wait, hang on a second. Is it? Why is the chart not updating? Why is it not updating? What the hell was that? We just hit 430, right? 432. It's ready to go. Jenny's asking, how much sooner do paying members get this information? Okay, so Jenny, let me repeat. I want to be very, very clear because some people are confused. So here's the deal. When we launch that new stock, we always have to post that on a public social media platform because, again, it is, like I said, it's insider information and it's material. It could be considered. It's a gray area. It could be considered material insider information. So that way, I have to announce it first on a public platform. Okay, so that's why we do it on, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is, right? We go there first. But the difference is this. Now, if you happen to be there, you'll catch that stock. We have 5, 10 different social media platforms we can announce this on. The difference with our early alerts, when you invest that $200 for the monthly membership, we tell you exactly what time we're going to be launching because we don't tell you in advance. We don't tell the market in advance what time we're announcing and where. We don't do that because then if we did that, there would just be too many people buying all at once, and the thing would get a hold of it. The stock would just go bananas. We had that happen with Hoth. We don't want that to happen. So what we do is for the early alerts, we tell you in advance. Okay, at 11:01 a.m. go to Instagram. That's where we're announcing the new stock. So that way you're there. You're waiting at 11:01 a.m. for the announcement, and boom, you see it, boom, and you can buy the first few seconds. Most people, they're not going to be there. They're not going to be in the other thing. So, and after that, after we announce it there, then we announce it on other platforms like a couple of minutes later. We stagger it out. So we might announce it on Instagram 11:01. You get in early at the ground floor. 11:04, we announce it on Twitter. 11:05, we announce it on StockTwits, and then we roll it out. So that way we don't have too much, because the market can't handle it. Here's the thing. We have literally thousands of people. We have literally thousands of people who are ready to rush in and buy these stocks because they know all our stocks are bangers right out of the gate. Every one of our stocks has increased on average like a double in the first 15 minutes or the hour, whether it's up 80% or it's up 200%. Like a lottery tripled in one day. It tripled in an hour. Lottery tripled from 78 cents to 250 in minutes. Okay, by the way, 15-minute charts were ready to break out. So I'm going to tell people here. Okay, so here's what you get. You get stuff like this. This is all, by the way, this is also very valuable. I don't know if people realize the value of our trading alerts because we give them stuff like this. We tell them, okay, all day long we give them this type of stuff. And by the way, I don't do these live streams every day. We do it whenever. So somebody's asking about Ciara. Okay, let's talk about some of our other stocks. Let's do a roundup. Oh, we got breakout on ADN 432. 432. It's happening. Hang on a second. It's ready to go. ADN literally is ready to explode right here. It's ready to explode. But I'll tell you, Ciara the chart is weak. The chart is weak right now. Hang on a second. Let me look. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I'm wrong. We had a bounce. I mean, it looks kind of, I'm waiting for it to break out above the moving averages. It could run. It's kind of it needs to break above 335 to get a buy signal. So Ciara is it's in no man's land until they get the merger approval from NASDAQ. Hoth could be ready to go. Again, Hoth, I'm going to show you guys the pattern on Hoth. HOTH, HOTH, one of our other bangers, could break out literally any moment. And I know we got a couple people watching. So here it is. We got a beautiful setup. I mean, super, super powerful setup for HOTH to break out. We're at $1.30. And I think what you want to see is if we go above $1.40, that's your cue. Above $1.40, that's right there. We break out above those levels right there. That's confirmation that it's about to explode. So HOTH could, and it could run next week, could this week, it could explode. Literally, it's like a volcano. HOTH is literally a volcano. Adatex is kind of hanging out. Adatex could be, we're getting close to a buy signal. We're getting close. We're getting close. We're getting close. I'll let you guys know. Oh, I think we might have had one today. We're getting very, very close. Very, very close. Very close. Like, how close? Hang on a second. So close, I'm going to tell our early alerts people, actually. I'm going to tell our early alerts people about this right now, so they should know this. Thank you for mentioning Adatex. I haven't been watching it, and we are getting very close to a breakout. So I got to let our early alerts people know in the private Telegram. Okay. Hang on a second. All right, guys, here is, get ready, guys. Adatex, I just put out the alert to our penny stock billionaires. What happened? Okay, penny stock billionaires have the alert. Now, here is what you need to be looking at. A breakout above the 200 moving average at $1.12 to $1.15. Okay, that's the 1 hour chart. Okay, we're at $1.05. It's looking good. I'm waiting for this breakout. All right, and when that happens, we could go to the moon. Okay, I just let our penny stock billionaires know. Why is my 4 hour chart not pulling up? It's not cooperating. 30-minute chart, we got a breakout happening. It's not confirmed yet, but it is happening, like literally right now. So ADTX, definitely a stock to watch. You guys are getting a heads up. You're getting free information here. Free information. Adatex should be on your watch list tomorrow. ADTX could run tomorrow big time. Bigly. Get ready. Let's go to ADN, back to ADN, double A's. ADN, 9 minutes to go. Are we going to run or not? It wants to go higher. It might just have a burst. Hang on, I just want to let the people know. All right, penny stock billionaires, Adatex, ADTX. Look at those charts. We're ready to break out on the 15-minute, the 1 hours. So you see the charts I sent you. Tomorrow could be the big day on Adatex. Tomorrow morning, we'll check in on Adatex, but tomorrow could be a big day for Adatex. ADN, here we go. Are we breaking out? 433. Here we go. ADN. HOTH also could be running tomorrow. ADN, HOTH, Adatex, 433, breaking out on ADN now. Right now. Here we go. Tomei, are you watching this? Tomei, are you watching ADN? ADN 433. If we get the, I think what's the number really is 440s, 450s. If we can get to that 450, I would be so happy. If we can close in the 450 today, that would be super, super bullish. Is it going to happen? We got 7 minutes to go. It wants to go there. Let's look at the 2-minute chart. That's the degenerate day traded chart. Look at that. We're ready to bust out on the 2 minutes. 3-minute chart is showing a breakout. I mean, it's not confirmed yet, but the stock, the bias is towards the upside. This thing definitely wants to run. Definitely wants to run. Want to bet after hours move. I think after hours, I really would hate to see people buying these stocks after hours, but there's a good chance that Aditex and ADN could run after hours. But Aditex looking real good, actually. I'll tell you what. Aditex is shaping up. Aditex is shaping up. What's it doing today? Yeah, quiet day. Not a lot of volume, which is good. I like that. 1 hour charts. Yeah, we're ready to go. Aditex is getting ready for a big move. Aditex is getting ready for a move, but we want to wait for confirmation because we've had too many fake outs with Aditex. You know, just like we've had fake outs with Seattle. Wow, the 1 hour chart on ADN is looking so good right now. Wow. I mean, this is looking so good. We might just have a massive move. You know, will we have a massive move in the next 6 minutes? Okay, here we go, guys. 1 hour charts, ADN 432. We got a pennant formation happening. And by the way, the longer we hang out in this area, 450s maybe, the happier I will be, frankly, because the bigger the pennant, the bigger the breakout. Look at this. We broke out over here. This is where we announced the stock. We have formed a pennant. Again, pennant, breakout. You see this pennant, breakout. We get another pennant. We get up another breakout just like that. So that's what I'm looking for in the next couple of days. I'm looking for a huge breakout. 5 minutes to go. 5 minutes to go. Yeah, Aditex needs to get their news flow going. ADN, good news flow. I'm very happy. They've had 2 news releases in, a week, 5 days. Very good. I mean, guys, look at the ADN news. This is the real deal. It's the real deal. Holyfield. ADN was heaven sent. Oh, Adam Truffaut. Oh, this is one of our penny stock billionaires. This is one of our penny stock billionaires in the early alerts. Guys, we're not making stuff up. We got people making big money on our private channel on the WAP. Look at this. This guy, one of our members. We have all been so appreciative of the private space and have made some killer money. There we go. We got testimonials. These are testimonials. I'm not making stuff up. I'm not making stuff up. It's the real deal. It's the real deal, guys. The WAP program, $195 a month. It ain't cheap. Actually, it is cheap because look, you should be able to make at least an extra $5 grand a month. If you're day trading or you're like a speculator or whatever it is, you should be making at least $3 grand extra that you wouldn't otherwise. I'm being very conservative. I'm being super conservative. Really, the number is probably $5 grand extra that you wouldn't otherwise because of the edge that you have. You're getting an edge. That's what it is. You're getting an edge with our program. So, Adam, thank you for the kind words, by the way. I appreciate that. Moontime. The chart looks amazing. The ADN chart looks amazing. It looks like it really wants to explode. And it's kind of like a racehorse. You know, ADN is kind of like a racehorse. It's in that, what do they call that thing by the racetrack before they, at the gate, before they let them out? The horse is like, it wants to go. And then they open the gates, they boom. And the horse like explodes out of the gate. And sometimes if the horse is like super energy, the rider can get thrown off. Right in the beginning because the horse just goes bananas. The stocks are the same way. Like when we launch one of these bangers, a lot of these investors, the early speculators, they get thrown off because they're not prepared. They're not prepared. That's why you got to get in our early alerts. You got to be part of that community. Jenny says, my problem, and I never know what. Jenny, your problem is the world's problem. I have news for you. I got news for you. Nobody's figured this out. Nobody's figured that part out yet. Here is what I say. In the book, we do have a chapter, when to sell. We have a chapter. We got a chapter, when to sell. I can't go into it here, but it has to do with the moving averages really tell you when. We're running 4:34, 2 minutes to go. Let's go, guys. 4:34. We're breaking out on the charts. Let's look at the 15 minutes. Are we breaking out? Yeah, we go. There we go. There we go. Oh, shit. It goes back to 4. It's, again, this thing wants to go. 3 minute. I want to show this chart. The thing wants to explode. The thing wants to explode. It's right there. It's right there at the breakout. It's right there. It's right there. It wants to go. It wants, that's the 3 minute. That's kind of your predecessor. It wants to go, and we go to here. Boom. That's going to trigger everything. And from there, it's like a waterfall effect. It's a waterfall. There we go. There we go. First we get the threes. Then we get the fives going, which is at 4:44. And then you get the 15 minutes. I mean, they're all lined up. I mean, it's kind of like it's a volcano that's smoking. ADN, if you don't get in now, you may never be able to get in. 4:35. Here we go, guys, into the close. It's moon time. It's moon time. Are we closed yet? We got moon time, 4:35. Ding, 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 ding. Oh, we closed. We closed. Market's closed. I keep hearing about the book. You keep hearing about the book. You mean this book? This book, 10-Bagger Blueprint? Well, guess what? We're going to be doing a video course version of that on our channel. Tiger bought the book. Tiger, congratulations on becoming a penny stocks billionaire. 4:35. ADN, 4:35. ADN. How did Seattle close? I want to see. How did Seattle do today? Seattle's weak. Seattle's weak right now. It's below the moving averages. It's in a no man's land until the merger. ADTX, guys, ADTX tomorrow could be a banger. We had some buying at the close. We had some buying at the close. We had some nice buying. Let's see, how much volume do we have today? Not bad, 100. Not a lot of volume. Not a lot of volume. How about ADN? How do we close with ADN? 1.5 million shares, which is like, by the way, ADN on a normal day trades. It used to trade 10,000. 10,000 shares would be a normal day for ADN. 10,000 shares. Now we're trading 1 million shares. Why are we trading 1 million shares? Because there's eyes on the stock, because of the paid stock promotion. Now listen, I talk about this in my book. The number one job of a CEO, do you guys know? Take a guess. Guys, I'll let you guess. Does anybody here know on TikTok, what's the job of a CEO? What's their number one job? Anybody on YouTube or Instagram? I mean, Twitter, do you guys know? There we go. It's worth it to be a member. Yes. So we got, again, everybody's saying it's the WAP channel is absolutely worth it. What is the number one job of a public company CEO? I'll let you guys have 3 guesses. Tomei, create shareholder value. Tomei, what does that mean in English? What does it mean, create shareholder value? Because we hear that word a lot. It's one of those corporate words. Corporate words. CEOs, everybody loves to. It sounds very sophisticated. What does it mean? No, the number one job of a CEO is to make you rich. That's the job. Shareholder value is just a fancy way of saying make the stock go to the moon. That's the job of every public CEO. Make that stock go to the moon. 100x, 1000x, whatever they can. Make it go to the moon. That's their job. That's all they should be doing all day long. That's their job. It's not making revenues. It's not making products. That's not the job. As a private company, your job, yes, you got to have revenues, profits. Yeah, private company, you cash flows, everybody, you make money. But when you have a public company, the job is to make to make your partners rich. The shareholders, which is you guys are partners in the business. Now, you're not getting dividends, are you? You're not going to get dividends in any of these stocks. The only way you're going to make money is if the stock goes up. And every CEO, the guys who are smart, they focus 100% on making it go to the moon. And the best way, I explain in the book, 10-Bagger Blueprint. If you have a good story, if you have everything, the best way where you get the most bang for the buck, there's 4 ways to make a stock go up. Okay? You could launch a new product, create shareholder value, launch new product, new service, new markets. Okay. You're taking a risk, may or may not work out, can cost you millions of dollars. You can hire a new executive, could be a superstar, maybe it may not work out. These are all 50-50 shots. But you can acquire a new company, do M&A, may or may not work out. These are all very expensive propositions, millions of dollars, 50-50 chance. Or stock promotion, which is what we're doing here. That's right, the Wall Street Reporter program. That is the best way. Again, I'm biased because, obviously I'm biased, but this is the best way because you get the most bang for the buck. It costs pennies, basically. I mean, where else can you, for a couple of grand, or a little more than a couple of grand, let's say, but for a couple of grand, you can increase the value of the stock by $50 million or more. Ciata, the market value of Ciata increased by how much? From $2, from $1 to $9, $75, $80 million, $100 million, $100 million. Here we got millions of dollars in value, and how much do the companies invest in the marketing? Pennies, basically, compared to the value. And we've had stocks that went up 10x, 50x. You've had companies that were hundreds of millions of dollars in value were created. That's the value. But here's the thing. That's why I always say, and again, obviously I have an axe to grind, I'm biased, but I always say, look, the CEO is smart when they understand how to promote the stock. I'm going to be putting out a video, I think, on TikTok. One of the most important things is if you want a 100x stock, you got to have a 100x CEO. You got to have that CEO who knows how to promote the stock. And who sees the value in promoting the stock. Not a lot of these guys don't do it. Listen, how many public companies are out there? There's 10,000 companies. Do you know how many companies kind of know what we do? They've seen our emails, whatever, and they know it's 100. They know it's like a 90% chance that they're gonna, it's gonna go to the moon, but they don't do it. I don't know why. They're not winners. They're afraid of success. A lot of these CEOs, it's all psychological. They're afraid of success. A lot of these guys are deadbeats. The ones we have, here's the thing, when you're buying one of these microcap stocks, you're betting on the jockey, which is the CEO. You bet because that's the guy that's going to make the thing work. And you're dealing with human nature. You never know with people. You never know. I mean, with human beings, people are very strange. I mean, you can have, you could be best friends with somebody, and they all of a sudden they double cross you. You never know. I mean, they steal from you, whatever. It could be your wife. You never know. You could be married. You could be married for 50 years, and then your wife, kills you or something. You never know with people. So human nature is very, very unpredictable. And with CEOs, I've had bad experiences. You never know with these guys, but at least when they're on our program, that these guys care about making the stock go up. That they're committed because they're spending money. When they hire us, that they hire Wall Street Reporter, they go on this channel, that they're at least committed to, making an effort to making the stock go up. Okay, so hang on a second. We got ADN ADN looks like Ciata in the early stages. Yeah, it looks like an early stage Ciata. Looks like it could explode like Ciata. Jordy is asking a great question. Can you explain in middle school terms what ADN does? Jordy, we got a video with the CEO of the company. Click the link in the bio. It's on our YouTube channel, Wall Street Reporter 1843. What do they do? I'm going to try to explain it, and I'm not the smartest guy. I'm not the most articulate for sure. So basically, they're a technology company developing hydrogen fuel cells, which is these hydrogen fuel cells. Now, I can't explain how that works. It's beyond my thing, but the video will explain it. Basically, this is the new source of power. Now, they're using hydrogen fuel cells now instead of batteries to power, believe it or not, planes like aircraft. Airbus, the giant company Airbus, it's like the Boeing of Europe. They're using hydrogen fuel cells from ADN, from this company, to power their next generation of aircraft. A company called Astralis just announced that they're using ADN's fuel cells to launch their hydrogen fuel cell plane, which is going to go live, I think in October, I think they said, or in a few months. It's real. It's real. Now, when are these actually going to start commercializing, where human beings, you and I, are going to fly in these? That could be a few years out. But also, they're doing this for other applications. It could be robots, could be anything you need source of powers. And check out the video where we're going through some of the. It's a $100 billion market, $100 billion market opportunity that they're looking at. So it's a massive, massive market opportunity. All right, so we closed 435. Looking at the after hours. After hours are pretty quiet, which is good. I like that. We closed at 435. Very nice setup in ADN. Let's do a quick snapshot. SIATA is not done. That's right. We are waiting for the NASDAQ approval. And when does it happen? Listen, guys, I own a stock called Fubo, F-U-B-O, Fubo, which is being acquired by Disney. Disney, the mouse house, Disney. They announced in January that Disney is going to be, merging or basically taking it over 70%. But hang on. But how long is it dragging with Fubo? It's dragging already 8 months, 7 months. So these things could drag on. Jordy, yeah, check out the video. Jordy, I highly suggest you check out the video so you understand what they do. I'll show you the charts. Forget about what the company does. It doesn't really matter what the company, it really doesn't matter. If you read the book, this is the book, 10-Bagger Blueprint. Get the book on Amazon, get the video course. What matters is the charts. The charts tell you where the stock is going. Now, let me show you where the chart is going. We got the 15-minute chart, which ended today on a breakout level, right? Threshold of massive explosion above that 50 and 200 moving average. So we are right there, ready to go to the moon. And by the way, we have Jonas is saying, yes, it pays to be a member of our WAP channel to get those early alerts, to get the trading signals. 15-minute chart, very bullish setup for tomorrow. ADN could absolutely go to the moon tomorrow. No joke. No joke. 5-minute charts, we are ready to break out of the 5-minute charts. Okay? And guess what? 3-minute. How about the 3-minute? We are breaking out in the 3 minutes. So tomorrow morning, we could go literally to the moon tomorrow morning. And how about the 1 hour? 1 hour chart's looking beast mode. Look at this. Wow. I mean, this thing just wants to go sky high. It wants to go sky high. What about 4 hour? 4 hour looking good. And we're looking for that golden cross. When that happens, when we get the golden cross, which could be, I think Tuesday or Wednesday, we could have a golden cross. And by then, the stock could absolutely explode into outer space. I would not be shocked. I would not be surprised at all if ADN goes to $9 or even $12, $9 or $12 when we break out with that golden cross. Guys, here's what I can propose is you can get my free newsletter. We got a free newsletter. That's right. We got a free newsletter. Click the link. Wait. Okay, right there. Right in the comment box, there's a little fill form. Click that to get my free newsletter. Click that. You're going to get our free newsletter so you can get rich with stocks that go to the moon. Okay, get the free newsletter. Link right there. Click, click, click to get the free newsletter. Unbelievable. And that goes out every day. We got a newsletter that goes out every day. And of course, we have our, WAP channel, so you can get rich with these banger stocks. If you want to go to the moon. All right. So what happened to Seattle? Everybody's asking about Seattle. Listen, these stocks, they don't go straight up. Sometimes they go sideways for a while, right? So that's what's going on with Seattle. Right now, guys, we are getting ready. So tomorrow could be huge. Tomorrow could be a huge day for 3 stocks. Put these on your watch list. Guys, get ready. We're going to wrap up right here. Wrapping up. ADN, you already know about ADN. HOTH, H-O-T-H. H-O-T-H. Charts looking real good. We could have a massive breakout tomorrow. Is it going to happen? I don't know. But it's ready to go. HOTH is ready to go at those breakout levels. How about Adatex? Adatex also. Adatex ready to go on the 1-hour charts. Ready to absolutely explode. So, guys, get ready. Get ready. These stocks, ChatGPT says deadline for merger. Yeah, I don't know. But that, I don't know, ChatGPT does not. It's, that's the deadline, meaning that's like, maybe this thing they signed, whatever. Basically what they're waiting is for the, I don't want to sound like a broken record. You know what they're waiting for, the NASDAQ approval. And again, is it real? Yeah, I mean, they've already, you saw, if you look at the SEC filings, they filed the financials for Seattle in right around July 4th. So we're 6 weeks in, which is pretty normal. It could go 2 months. It could go 2 months. This TikTok account, only penny stocks? Yeah, I mean, basically this account, we only talk about cheap stocks. Technically, anything under $5 is called a penny stock. Technically, that's the NASDAQ definition. Yeah, we like these stocks that are under $1. I love stocks under $1. The cheaper, the better. The cheaper, the better. Again, if it's a 50-cent stock, the better it is. But yeah, sometimes they're $1, whatever the number is. Sometimes they're a couple dollars. The merger is built into the stock price. No, it's not. It was getting close to, but it's not. It's not built in. It's absolutely not built in. Showcase products. How do I get really good at trading stocks? Insider edge. This is what we've been talking about for the last hour. Yes, you get. Here's what you do. If you want to invest in your future, you click the link above to get our early alerts program. So you get the WAP platform. That's where we have the early alerts private Telegram channel. We're going to have the video course launching for 10-bagger blueprint. This is your insider edge. You're going to have everything you need to know, charts, fundamentals. We'll make it very, very simple. Again, you got all these fake trading gurus and fake trading channels. All they trade off is based off the charts, and they're trading off of information that everybody already knows about. On this channel, we tell you what's going to happen in the future, and we already have the inside edge because we're working directly with the company. So, which actually means I have to be very careful in some of the things I can say, because sometimes I can't say things, which might, I can't say everything I may have been told because sometimes things slip out by accident. So I have to be very careful what I can say. I can only talk about public information. But I can tell you, anytime a company hires us to promote the stock, that tells you, that's your crystal ball. That's a signal to the market. It's a signal to the market saying, shit, this stock is about to be on the radar of millions of investors and it's going to go to the moon. Because why? It's vetted. It's vetted. It's like an underwriting process. Yeah, it's like literally, we underwrite these stocks, meaning not as an investment bank, but as like, like an insurance carrier or like whatever. You underwrite a deal. In other words, you got to make sure it checks off all the boxes. And every one of our stocks, here's what you got to, guys know, it's got the good housekeeping seal of approval. All of our stocks, all of our 10-bagger stocks meet these 10 criteria, okay? All of our stocks, these 10 criteria, these these 10 criteria they have to meet, which is market size opportunity, traction proof of concept, catalyst for multiple catalysts for upside, inflection point, CEO quality, valuation. Very important. We got to get in with a built-in profit. What is it? I explained the book, theme and market cycle. I haven't talked about that stuff so much because we're in a good market, but that's important. Stock promotion, I just explained a little bit. Charts and trends, that's a big one. If a stock meets those 10 criteria, it gets to become our next super stock, and we launch it right here. So yeah, every company, every stock we have is basically vetted. They're vetted. It's vetted. It's like the good housekeeping seal of approval. Do you guys even know what does that still around, the good housekeeping seal of approval? That was like a thing. I don't know what that means. I think it was a magazine called Good Housekeeping for Housewives back in the set. I don't know. They always had this commercial when I was growing up, but that was like, okay, the good housekeeping means like, okay, this is a good product. We do not do mentoring. We don't do any of that stuff. On the WAP channel, though, you have questions. You got a lot of smart people on the chat, and I'm in there all the time. So yeah, that's basically what you get. But it's not like we don't do one-on-one. That's like, I'm not in that. Look, here's the dirty secret. Okay, any of these fake trading gurus, I call them fake. Any of these guys who do one-on-one mentoring, any of these trading channels that have one-on-one mentoring, these guys are broke. They're bust down scammers. They make their money by just selling trading coaches. They don't make money trading. If they made money trading, they would not have time to do one-on-one trading. I don't have time to do one-on-one trading. I don't do. I'm doing promotion all day long, stock promotion. So yeah, anybody that offers one-on-one trading coaches is a fugazi. You know what a fugazi is? You Google it. Is there ever a huge risk? I'm not sure what the guy's asking. Is there a huge risk? Yeah, there's a huge risk, and these stocks can go to zero. Any one of these stocks could go to zero. That's why you got to have money management properly down, meaning you don't put all your money into one stock. You got to have enough money for at least five of our bangers. That way, because sometimes we could have 5 back-to-back stocks that literally go to the moon, that go 10x. And then after that, we could have 5 back-to-back dogs. It's possible that sometimes it could happen. What's the lowest amount of money to invest? I don't even know. There we go. Canadian penny stock hunter. The Canadian penny stock hunter. This guy knows. He got ADN after hours. What's ADN trading at after hours? I don't even want to look because, it could be crazy. You got to be real careful. 422, it's good. If you got into 422, I think you're doing good. I think if you can scoop up ADN below where we closed, I think you're doing good, because the after hours is super illiquid, and you could have people, for whatever reason, they buy, sell. There's no rhyme or reason. After hours is a scam, basically. Okay, and how do I know it's a scam? You know why I know it's a scam? Because one of the directors of BOATS, that's the after hours exchange, that's Blue Ocean, is the CEO of the Canadian Securities Exchange, which is the Canada Scam Exchange. That's right. The CEO of BOATS, Blue Ocean, that's the platform that does after hours trading, is the CEO of Canada Scam Exchange. Richard, what's his name? Richard Carlton. The guy's Richard Carlton is like the Ford, the Rob Ford of Canada. Rob Ford, that was the guy who was the crackhead, the mayor of Toronto, who was the crackhead. The CEO of the Canadian Securities Exchange, take a look at this picture. The guy's a crackhead. When do I think ADN will boom? When do I think ADN will boom? We're talking about it all day. Rob Ford. That's right. Take a look at the picture of Richard Carlton, CEO of Canada Securities Exchange, and also look at his sidekick. That's what the hell is his name? His name is the guy was his name is Tom Caldwell. Look up Tom Caldwell. Google Tom Caldwell. Tom Caldwell was the chairman of the Canadian Scam Exchange. Tom Caldwell was stealing money from his investors. How was he stealing money? Well, ask the Ontario Securities Commission, who fined Tom Caldwell a couple of $1 million, which is very rare in Canada, to get a fine for a couple of $1 million. He got a fine for a couple of $1 million for basically stealing money from his investors by running trades through his own brokerage system instead of getting the best price, which was his fiduciary responsibility. That's his fiduciary responsibility, to get the best price whichever market it is. But no, he would do it through his own thing, so he could clip a couple pennies. Look at a picture of the guy. Look at the picture of Tom Caldwell. What does the guy look like? You know, what does the guy look like? That face, that Tom Caldwell face. You know, these guys, these guys, there's a certain look. Yeah, the Ford brothers. I don't know which Ford. I mean, they're all crackheads. I mean, the whole Ford family is. I mean, they're all basically crackheads. These Ford brothers, these Toronto politicians there. When do I think ADN will boom again? I love this guy. This guy just bought the stock after hours. He bought it 2 minutes ago, and he's asking, when is it going to boom again? It's going to boom in 38 seconds, the next 38 seconds, guaranteed. I don't know when it's going to boom tomorrow. I mean, we just did a whole show. We just did a whole show. We just did a whole show on it. I think tomorrow this thing could explode. Again, we're not in it to pick up a nickel. We're in these stocks for, potentially ADN could be a $25 stock in a few months. All right. That's it, guys. We're done. We're wrapping up. We'll see you on the next one. Here's to your 100x. Make sure you get on WAP. Get on WAP to get our free. Enough WAP. It's not free. It's $195. Early alerts. To get the early alerts, we're going to be launching a next banger, and also our private Telegram. Exactly. Yeah, no, we got a whole thing with Canadian regulators. We have a whole thing. I have nothing against Canada. It's the regulators at these exchanges who are just so dumb and so stupid and so corrupt and crooked. We're gonna have a couple of articles coming out. We're gonna have an expose coming out, and we're gonna be calling them out by name with their pictures and everything. Okay, all of them. Why? Because they're stealing money from investors. That's right. These guys, literally, it's totally corrupt. It's a crony system in Canada. It's a crony capitalist system. Whereas, they have a couple of friends that they work with. Guys like Mark Faulkner, the head regulator of the Canada Securities Exchange. He's the alleged regulator. What regulatory experience is the guy? He's been a motorcycle teacher for 30. He's never even had a stockbroker. He's never passed a stockbroker's license. He doesn't have an MBA. He doesn't have a law degree. How can he be making laws and regulations for the exchange when he doesn't even know what, net present values? He doesn't know how to read a chart. He's never sold a share of stock in his life. I think his son is working as a stockbroker, scamming people. I think his name is Adam Faulkner. I think he's working for RBC, another grifter. He's probably feeding him inside information. I would not be surprised if this guy Faulkner is feeding his son inside information about, like, okay, this stock, we're going to hold this stock, this, that. There's a lot of that going on. 100%. Canada Securities Exchange. They halted a stock I was involved with last year. Why? Because the guy is a corrupt criminal. One of his buddies, one of Mark Faulkner's buddies, is another stock promoter. I think these guys are lovers. I think Mark Faulkner is involved in a homosexual relationship with Chris Parry, who's a scumbag promoter in Vancouver, and Greasy George Ciolis, who's a crook, literally convicted fraudster in Toronto, Agoracom. And you can Google George Ciolis, TSI. This guy had to pay a massive fine and banned from the industry for a couple of years because he was running fake chat rooms. He had 600 fake accounts promoting stocks or whatever. But Greasy George and Chris Parry, these busted down fakes, these guys are the unsuccessful. None of these guys can't move a stock if their life depended on it, okay? These guys, they're basically haters of this channel. They're haters. You're very jealous. So they're buddies with this Mark Faulkner guy. That's right. They're good buddies. Personal friends. And also they're friends with Rob Ford at the CSE. So they filed a complaint with the CSE saying, oh, this guy, this Jack Marks, he's no good. He's no good. You should look into him. That's what they do in Canada. They get that small dick energy, that passive aggressive thing. These guys are cowards. Where they're not, they can't fight on their own. They got to call their mommy and daddy. They got to call their mommy and daddy. File false complaints with the regulators. And this guy, Mark Faulkner, is a scumbag, and he's basically a retard. And he halted a stock, saying, "Oh, this guy's no good." Blah blah blah. There's a whole thing going on right now. We're going to be suing the CSE. We're going to be suing the Canadian Securities Exchange. I want this guy to go to prison. I want Mark Faulkner to be going to prison. We want him locked up, and I want him hanging from a noose. Mark Faulkner, if you're watching this, you should Mark Faulkner from the CSE should hang himself if that would be the best thing to do. That's what they do in Japan. If a guy commits, embarrasses they what they call seppuku, right? When you lose face, bring shame. This guy, Mark Faulkner, brings shame onto the CSE. He undermines the whole integrity of the Canadian capital markets. Literally, this guy undermines the integrity of Canadian capital markets. How can you trust? How can you even run a public company on the CSE? Why would any sane CEO want to take their company public on the CSE exchange when this guy, if he doesn't like you for whatever reason, if somebody pays him off or he's sucking somebody's dick, which he probably is doing, why, he can halt your stock, and then your stock, you can't trade the stock anywhere until, whatever, right? That's what goes on. That's why I hate these Canadian stocks now. And we had so much success. I made so much money for the CSE. Our stocks traded literally billions of shares. Peak FinTech, PKK, CBDT, CloudMD, Nextech, Fans Unite, stocks that went up 1,000% or more, like the ones you see on the bottom of the screen, Visibility Group. These stocks all went to the moon. Millions of dollars in trading fees for the CSE. And this is what they do. This is how they repay you. So Mark Faulkner is a corrupt scumbag. Hang on, we're gonna look him up. Hang on a second. You know what? We're gonna hang on a second. I want you to see these people. We're gonna bring a face. We're gonna put a face to their name. Where is it? Where are the pictures? Oh, they took the pictures off. Where are the pictures? Well, we got the pictures. Don't worry. We got the pictures. Hang on. Okay, guys. So these are the scumbags. Let me show you the scumbags of the can. Let me show you the scumbags, the corrupt scumbags. Scumbag number one, Richard Carlton. Okay, this guy looks like a crackhead. He's got that pedo face. Scumbag number two, Tracy Stern. She's got that bug-eyed freak. Look at that face. Look at that bug-eyed freak face. She's the chief legal officer who is committed multiple acts of fraud. Literally, they committed multiple acts of fraud. We caught them red-handed, and they're going to be sued. Here is this pig fucker face. This is Mark Faulkner. Look at that pig face. Look at Mark Faulkner, that pig face, Mark Faulkner. That's the guy that's stealing your money from New World Solutions. That's the guy who halted New World Solutions. That's the guy. Narcissistic feminine trait. That's right. There's that small dick energy. Mark Faulkner. What's his background? What's his experience? Should we look up Mark Faulkner on LinkedIn? Should we look up Mark Faulkner on LinkedIn? I mean, you can look him up. His only experience is riding a motorcycle. By the way, his tab is MF, as in, well, you know what MF stand for. Hang on a second. Here's Mark Faulkner. This is his background. This is LinkedIn. That's his background. What's his background? Chief instructor, motorcycle training program at Humber College. 36 years. That's his whole experience. Okay, so what is it? Okay, so what is his experience? His first job after he graduated, I don't know, bumfuck college, Humber bumfuck college, which never heard of. He basically was a clerk. He was a clerk. He never had a series stockbroker, nothing. He was basically a clerk on the floor of the exchange back when they had, like a market. And then he becomes a snitch, investigations, market surveillance. Basically becomes a narc. He becomes a narc. Now, what does he know? Oh, hang on a second. We got to pull it up. Mark Faulkner, there it is. Here is this guy, pig fucker Mark Faulkner. Look at that pig fucker face. This is the guy. What is his qualifications to be running to be head regulator of the Canadian Securities Exchange? You know what his qualifications are? Here we go. He went to Humber College, which nobody ever heard of. Then he's been a chief. This is his main experience, 36 years, motorcycle training program, 36 years. That's his main experience to be the regulator of the CSE. Does he have a law degree? No. Does he have an MBA? No. Did he have his stockbroker's exam? I mean, I passed my Series 7 when I was 18. I had my Series 3 when I was 16. I mean, this guy's never had a real job. He's worked for the TSX. That's his basically as a clerk. Then he brown nosed his way up to like some sort of narc, basically like being a snitch, an in-house snitch. But what's his qualifications to know anything about a stock when he doesn't know anything about the market? And we can prove he doesn't know anything because I have emails which prove that this guy really has zero understanding of anything about the capital markets. So then he joins the CSE when they open up, when it becomes the Canada Scam Exchange, and he's been scamming investors ever since. Now, what about the other scumbags at the CSE? By the way, we're going to have a whole investigation expose on these guys. Here's the other scumbag, Rob Cook. Here's the other scumbag. So Rob Cook is best friends. Who's his best friend? George Tsiolus, greasy George Tsiolus, okay, who's a convicted fraudster, who has had 600 fake accounts pumping stocks, who had to pay a massive fine to the OSX, and was banned from the markets for a number of years. Why is Robert Cook, who's, by the way, a member of their panel and the whole thing, why is he best friends with a convicted fraudster? Why is Mark Friends best friends with a convicted fraudster? Now, here's where it gets interesting. These three guys, right? These two, and also there's another guy, Therion, which we don't see. And we got this loser over here, which this is another brown noser who's been, again, brown nosing his way up. Again, he's also sucking dicks of promoters. These guys are so corrupt. So these guys, these two scumbags, so let me tell you what happened. We're going to have a whole video on this. So these two scumbags, Rob Cook, Mark Faulkner, they're best friends with these scumbag stock promoters who are our, basically competitors and rivals who filed a false complaint about us. These guys basically decided, hey, we're going to try to ban this guy from our exchange. Me, the guy who made all those stocks go up, who has full disclosure, who's never had any issues in Canada, no legal issues in Canada ever. And meanwhile, these guys, and massive lawsuit coming up, the CSE. By the way, if you want to short, I would say you want to short a stock called Urbana. By the way, here's what I love about this. So this is their website. This is their team, right? Team. Now here's how fake this exchange is. So this is the website. They got this clip art picture of this black lady with a shaved head, looking very woke. So you think, oh, okay. Why do they have a pic? Why do you think they choose a picture of this woke-looking black lady who looks like maybe possibly a lesbian or whatever. Why do they have that? Because they want you to think that they are inclusive and, woke and all that. But look at all these faces. That's their executives. Look at all these faces. Look at all these faces. You see any black people here? You see any brown people? They're all white. They're all white people. Now, I have nothing against white people. I mean, I'm white myself. But why would you try to have this? Why are you exploiting the black community? That's right. The CSE is racist, exploiting the black community to try to appear that they're, woke and they're, inclusive and all that. They don't have a single black person on their team. Not one Indian, not one Asian. Okay, by the way, do you know that Toronto, and you got this scumbag, another grifter, Michael Bluestein, another fake lawyer. This guy's a scumbag piece of shit who is also, we're going to have a whole expose on these guys. We got a whole expose. Okay, so these scumbags over here, I'm going to show you the documents, guys. We got documents that are going to be uploaded. Okay, we're going to have major lawsuits against these guys. Anyway, they are so corrupt. So many acts of fraud. They literally made up fraudulent documents. This piece of shit, this pig fucker face, created false documents. And the result of those actions of Mark Faulkner, Canadian investors lost millions of dollars because he halted a stock called New World Solutions that I was the chairman of, New World Solutions. REGR was a symbol in the US. Why? Because he wanted to help out his cronies, his friends. That's right. That's the problem. The Canadians, they're passive aggressive, especially the competitors. Here is the problem. The problem that this guy has, this Mark Faulkner, this dummy, the problem he has is he doesn't understand what we're doing, especially these people in TSX, these regulators. They don't understand what we do. They don't understand that we have a framework, a system. Every stock we bring on that we promote here is all based on fundamentals, on technicals. There's a framework. We don't just say, oh, it's going to the moon. It's going to go to 100x. That's what they want you to think. That's what they think. They think, oh, it's promotion. Oh, this guy's making claims that this stock is gonna, go to it's gonna be baseless claims. That's what they want you to think. Where the reality is, every single stock we promote has to be based on fundamentals. Now, they don't understand the fundamentals. Why? They're not qualified. They're unsuitable. That's the word they use, unsuitable. They're unqualified. Mark Faulkner is an unsuitable piece of shit, beta male cocksucker, and he's a corrupt piece of garbage. And we're going to get him locked up in prison if we can help it. Now, in Canada, you can kill somebody and not go to prison. I mean, literally, you can get away with it. The lawyer we have, by the way, we got a lawyer who's we're going to be suing these guys. He's a white collar lawyer. He can get you off. I mean, if anybody needs to, we don't want to go in a certain direction on this channel because these channels are sensitive to saying certain things. But here's the point. The point is this guy halted a stock. Investors lost millions of dollars. It's still halted. Why? Because he doesn't understand fundamental valuations of stock. He knows nothing because his background, he's unqualified. His background is a motorcycle instructor. That is his background. He has never had hang on, let's pull this up. He's never had a stockbroker license or whatever they have in Canada. I don't know. What do they call it in Canada? What do they call a stockbroker license? He's never had an MBA. He's never had a law degree. By the way, in the US, if you're running an exchange, they all have law degrees. Oh, by the way, guys, guess what? It gets better. Hang on a second. I'm going to pull this up. Do you know how corrupt is the CSE? How corrupt is the CSE? I'll tell you how corrupt. Their own in-house counsel is suing them. That's right. Hang on a second. I'll pull it up. Hang on a second. Here we go. This shows you. I mean, imagine this. Your own in-house counsel sues you. There you go. Look at this. Canadian Securities Exchange sued for $2 million. Now, what is he suing them for? Now, former general counsel alleges retaliation and toxic workplace. What they're not telling you is basically this guy was trying to, I think, prevent this corrupt director, this Tom Caldwell, his son. Again, it's all nepotism. His son, Tom Caldwell's son, a guy who's not suitable to be a regular because the guy's paid millions of fines for stealing from his investors. The chairman of the Canadian Stock Exchange stole millions of dollars from his investors. He was fined millions of dollars by the Ontario Securities Commission, and their in-house lawyers saying, "Hey, we can't have this guy be the chairman. We can't have this guy's son be the director because it's conflict of interest." Anyway, so they fired him. So he's suing them for millions of dollars. Wrongful dismissal, failure to the company's failure to properly carry out an investigation, company harassment, blah blah blah, and there's more. There's a lot more. According to a statement, CSE Richard Carlton frequently lost his temper and exhibited abusive behavior, including yelling at employees, throwing objects, and sharing private medical information about their staff, and made several employees cry. But no, it gets more because they don't mention the actual corruption in this case. They don't mention that. But who is Richard Carlton? Richard Carlton, again, the guy, we're going to be investigating his personal life. Richard Carlton, I mean, I don't know, the guy definitely looks like a pedo. He's got that pedo look. And I'm not saying he is. I'm not saying anything. I'm saying he looks like a guy that you don't want to leave your children with. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that this guy looks like the type of guy. Look at those beady eyes. Look at that reptilian face. That looks like a guy you do not want around your children. Hang on a second. Let me pull it up. Oh, where is it? Where is that pig fucker? There it is. You don't want that face. You don't want that guy around your children. Okay? That's a guy who looks, I mean, I don't know. What do you think the guy looks like? You tell me. You tell me. Now, wait, hold on a second. Hang on a second. Let's look at this. Let's look at Tom Caldwell. Tom Caldwell or better. Look at this piece of shit. So this is Tom Caldwell. This piece of shit. Look at this guy. Look at that piece of shit. There we go. There is the piece of shit from Urbana. Oh, and they own Blue Ocean Technology, what is it? What is his position with Blue Ocean? What is his position? Because Blue Ocean, that's the after hours trading. He's a board director. This piece of shit. And you know who else is a board director? It's Carlton. I mean, I don't know. This guy looks like a pedo to me. I don't know. You tell me. This guy definitely has got those pedo vibes. Now, I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying he's got that look. I'm just saying they got that look. You know, that look. In the beady eyes. The beady eyes. By the way, this guy was, just so you know, he was fined. Hang on, Caldwell Securities. By SEC. Were they fined by the SEC also? Oh, no, I'm sorry. Here we go, guys. So this is the lawsuits against Tom Caldwell, the guy who runs, the chairman of the CSC, and also the after hours trading. Caldwell Investment Management to pay $2 million fine. Fined $2 million for what? For what? What were they fined for? Boy, they got multiple fines. Restitution to investors. Caldwell will pay roughly $2 million fine. Charge that it hurt its investors. Founder Greg Caldwell has agreed to be banned from the industry. Holy shit. I didn't even know that. Greg Caldwell is going to be banned. That's Tom Caldwell's, what is he? What are these guys? It's a whole family. It's a whole family clusterfuck. Caldwell International will pay a fine of $1 million additional restitution. Caldwell paid $50,000. Caldwell had been a small regional broker dealer operating out of Lenny Freeman's house in Fisher, Texas, until the blah, blah, blah. Oh no, I'm sorry. This is the wrong. It's a different Caldwell. It's a different Caldwell. Wait, no, I think it's the same Caldwell. Hang on a second. No, I'm sorry. That's a different Caldwell, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's a different Caldwell, guys. I'm sorry. All the Caldwells are crooked. Here we go. This is the right Caldwell. That was a different Caldwell. Caldwell Investment Management, in connection with agreed to pay $2 million for a 4-year period, failed to provide best execution of equity and bond trades for its clients by directing most of its trade clients through Caldwell Securities, its own related investment dealer, when in many cases unaffiliated dealers offered better commission rates and bond spreads. Caldwell also admitted that it had inadequate policies, procedures, best execute. Okay, but whatever. Caldwell failure to develop, document, enforce clear policies and best execute led to self-interest dictating how client orders were handled. That's a big fine in Canada, by the way. That's a big fine. Why is it every Caldwell is a scumbag? Yeah. Don't say anything about the David Icke thing. Yeah, that guy is like a third rail of YouTube, I think. But this is it. We're going to expose these guys. We're going to expose them. We will be exposing fraud in Canada. Look, investors have a right to know. Investors have a right to know. All right, guys, that's it. Wrapping up. Sorry, we went off tangent. We went off tangent on this channel. We're here to talk about stocks so you can get rich. But you have to know what to look out for. This is why, we're really avoiding Canadian stocks because, and we'll be talking about it later, but because there's too much risk. There's too much risk when you have, these various scumbags that for whatever reason, they get a kickback, they get a payoff. They're doing a favor for one of their friends. They got to support the market. Why? Because the Canadian promoters, this Chris Parry, this lowlife, this scumbag fraudster, George Soros, these guys are basically incompetent. They're not competent. They can't make stocks go up. They can't produce these types of results. 10 baggers, one after another, bangers like we have here. Stocks that double on day one. They can't do it. You know why? Because those guys, they'll take on any company that pays them. Any company that pays them a couple of dollars, they'll take on as a client. On this channel, we don't. They have to meet our list of criteria. And when they do, then we promote them. And then the stocks go up. So that's our secret. That is the secret to how our stocks go up. That's the secret. That's the secret sauce. Because we find stocks which have massive fundamentals, ready to explode. They got the right chart set up. They got the right fundamentals. And then we get them in front of millions of eyeballs. And that creates the efficient market that gets massive buying into the stocks. And the real secret is the investors. They know our track record. They know that a Wall Street reporter, we've had so many of these stocks that went up 1,000% or more. They know that we have a framework, that these things are vetted. These stocks are vetted. We don't just take on any bullshit company. We don't just take on any scam, pump and dump Canadian CSE company. They got to meet criteria. And that's why investors buy our stocks right away when we launch them, because they know that they're vetted and they could be that next 10 bagger. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Here's to your 100X. Make sure you get our subscribe to our early alerts when we launch that next banger. Could be next week. The next banger could be launching next week. You don't want to miss out.